From floating party boats to hidden mountain retreats, Roman emperors knew how to escape in style. Today, we'll explore the most amazing private getaways of ancient rulers, where luxury and secrecy created spaces for both relaxation and scandal. Let's talk about Nero's Golden Palace, a place that would make modern luxury homes look modest. Built in 64 AD after the Great Fire of Rome, this massive complex covered up to 300 acres. That's about 150 football fields. The palace had endless marble halls, gold-covered walls, and a 120-foot statue of Nero himself. The dining rooms featured clever mechanical systems that would shower guests with flower petals and perfume while they ate. One of the coolest features was a rotating dining room that turned slowly throughout meals, giving guests changing views of the city. The ceilings were decorated with ivory panels that could slide back to drop roses on the guests below. Some rooms were so shiny with precious metals and gems that people said it hurt their eyes to look at them too long. Moving on to Emperor Tiberius, who turned the island of Capri into his personal playground around 27 AD. He built 12 villas across the island, but Villa Jovis was his favorite hideaway. Perched on a 1,000-foot cliff, this massive villa offered perfect views to spot any unwanted visitors approaching by sea. The villa had everything a paranoid emperor could want: private baths, gardens, and a network of secret passages. According to ancient writers, Tiberius spent his days here watching entertainment in his private theatre and enjoying lavish feasts. The Blue Grotto was his private swimming pool, a sea cave that glows an electric blue when sunlight hits the water. While some ancient stories about what happened in these villas are probably exaggerated, we know Tiberius spent the last 10 years of his life here, running the empire from his island paradise. Let's explore Hadrian's villa, a massive country estate that was basically an ancient Roman version of Disneyland. Built around 120 AD near Tivoli, this sprawling complex was the size of a small city, about 250 acres. Hadrian filled it with replicas of his favorite buildings from across the empire. There was an Egyptian-style pool with crocodile statues, Greek-inspired theatres, and even a man-made valley copied from a famous spot in Greece called the Vale of Tempe. The villa had over 30 buildings connected by underground tunnels that the servants used, so they wouldn't disturb the emperor and his guests. The coolest part was the maritime theatre, a round pool with a small island in the middle where Hadrian had his private study, complete with a tiny house and miniature garden. This was his personal getaway within a getaway, where he could escape when he needed alone time to think or work. Emperor Diocletian did something no other Roman emperor had done before. He actually retired, and he built the perfect spot for it in Split, Croatia. His massive palace combined the best features of a military fort and a luxury resort. Picture a huge complex right on the sea, with walls stretching nearly 600 feet on each side. The palace had everything Diocletian needed for a comfortable retirement: private apartments, a grand dining hall, and his own personal spa. The most impressive room was his massive throne room, decorated with red granite columns imported from Egypt. The coolest part? This wasn't just some dusty ruin. People still live and work in parts of Diocletian's palace today. The ancient Roman streets are now filled with shops and cafes, making it one of the best preserved Roman buildings in the world. Now let's head to the Alps, where Marcus Aurelius had his own mountain hideaway. Unlike the flashy palaces of other emperors, this retreat was all about peace and quiet. Built around 170 AD, this villa sat high in the mountains, offering amazing views of the surrounding peaks. The emperor chose this spot to escape Rome's summer heat and to work on his famous book, Meditations. The villa had heated floors to keep warm during cold mountain nights, private baths fed by natural springs, and simple but comfortable rooms. Marcus Aurelius wasn't into fancy decorations. Instead, he filled the villa with his books and writing materials. The location was perfect for a philosopher-emperor who wanted to think deep thoughts away from the noise of Rome. Now we come to one of the most amazing examples of Roman luxury: Caligula's massive party boats on Lake Nemi. These weren't just regular boats, they were floating palaces bigger than most modern yachts. Built around 37 AD, These two massive ships stretched up to 240 feet long and were packed with marble floors, heated baths, and bronze decorations. The larger ship worked like a floating temple, while the smaller one was basically a floating palace. They had advanced plumbing systems, beautiful mosaics, and even heated floors. Pretty impressive for ancient boats. The ships were so heavy with luxury items that they could barely move and mostly stayed anchored on the lake. For centuries, these ships were lost underwater until Mussolini ordered the lake drained in 1929. Sadly, the recovered ships were destroyed during World War II, but the few surviving pieces show just how amazing these floating palaces once were. When Constantine moved the empire's capital to Constantinople in 330 AD, he made sure to include some amazing private spaces in his new palace. The Great Palace complex was mind-blowing. It covered nearly 1 million square feet along the sea. The coolest part? The emperor's private chambers had secret passages leading to underground rooms where he could escape the pressures of ruling. These hidden spaces featured beautiful gold mosaics, private baths with hot and cold pools, and windows looking out to the sea. The palace had special throne rooms where mechanical golden birds would sing and fountains would spray perfume into the air. Constantine could even slip away to his private chapel through hidden doors behind his throne. While most of the palace is gone today, archaeologists keep finding new rooms under modern Istanbul's streets. Before Tiberius made Capri famous, Emperor Augustus first discovered this island's potential as a perfect getaway spot. He traded the island of Ischia for Capri with the city of Naples, showing just how much he wanted this particular piece of paradise. Augustus turned Capri into his personal retreat, building several villas with amazing views of the Bay of Naples. He especially loved the Blue Grotto, a sea cave that seems to glow from underwater light. The cave's blue waters amazed visitors, and Augustus used it as his private swimming pool. He decorated the cave with statues of sea gods and had his architects build a small landing platform so he could easily swim there from his villa. The emperor spent many summers here, away from Rome's heat and politics, enjoying the island's peaceful atmosphere and natural beauty. Let's venture beneath the streets of ancient Rome to explore Emperor Commodus's hidden underground complex. While other emperors built their retreats in plain sight, Commodus created a secret world below his palace on Palatine Hill. These underground chambers, built around 180 AD, included private gladiator training areas, exotic animal pens, and luxury baths that few people ever saw. The rooms were connected by torch-lit corridors decorated with colorful frescoes showing hunting scenes and gladiator fights. Commodus spent countless hours here, practicing with weapons and planning elaborate shows. The chambers had special lifts to bring animals up to his private arena and heated pools where he could relax after training. Modern archaeologists are still finding new rooms in this underground maze. Just 15 miles from Rome, Emperor Domitian created an amazing lakeside retreat that would rival any modern resort. Built around 90 AD on Lake Albano, this massive complex featured terraced gardens dropping down to the water's edge. The villa had its own stadium where Domitian hosted private games and special dining rooms with panoramic views across the lake. The coolest feature was a series of floating platforms on the lake where guests could swim, fish, and enjoy meals right on the water. The emperor also built a private tunnel system that let him move between different parts of the villa without being seen. Special water wheels and pumps brought fresh lake water right into the villa's fountains and baths. Thanks for joining this journey through history's most incredible royal getaways. These palaces show just how creative Roman emperors could be with their free time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to explore more fascinating historical stories together.